launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, happy hump day, everybody, on this Wednesday. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. We got a hell of a show for you again today. Got some good shows this week. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me here. Had a lot of news-making interviews lately with Ken Hagan, Brooke Bennett the other day, talking about Leah Thomas and the trans athlete situation, which is blowing up. Taylor Walls getting involved in it as well. So we're going to get to that controversy today. Yes, things that other stations don't want to talk about, won't talk about. We will bravely take them on. And by the way, take all of your comments and questions, and we're going to read a lot of them today. So we take all opinions, welcome all on the show. We don't have call in right now, but if you message me and you want to come on the show, we will definitely get you on. We're working on multiple guests in that regard. So at FanStream JP, you can always email me at JP at the JP Peterson Show, at Nick Geddes News, and get you on as well. So we're ready for a big show today. Rich Hollenberg's going to join us at 11 o'clock, and we'll talk with him about Rays baseball and the things that are going on. They had, 13 arbitration cases settled last night?
Yes, they did.
So we have an updated payroll?
We think we should have an updated payroll.
Right, now much more accurate updated payroll.
Tyler Glasnow leading the way at a mighty 5.1 yesterday of all the arbitration hearings.
He got hosed a little bit.
I think so.
Thought you were going to get 6.
I thought 6, 7 maybe.
That's a weird arbitration. It's like, okay, I'm not going to pitch this year. What do you owe me? How's that work?
I don't even understand. Do you understand arbitration fully?
Because it's supposed to be based on numbers, but when you look at the salaries, it's about 35 cents on the dollar as opposed to becoming a free agent. So how is that fair arbitration? It's not even close.
I just I can't make sense. I was looking at other people around the league, what they were getting.
Right.
And I'm like, a marginally talented average player in a big market is getting 10 million, out of Duval. I'm like, what? 10 million for that guy?
Yeah.
And I looked at all the ones the Rays have, and I'm like, what? I don't understand it really.
Yeah. Why would it be different? Baseball is baseball.
Yeah.
It's the same league. Why would one market be different than the other?
It doesn't add up to me at all.
And I know it depends on whether it's first year arbitration, second year, or third year. You get more in each one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bizarre as well.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they ratified something this CBA, right, to fix this.
Well, the pre-arb players, there's a bonus pool for them now. Like Kyle Tucker, who had 30 bombs last year and made minimum salary, would get, a couple million out of the bonus pool because of his production, which seems like, why hasn't that always been a thing? That's one of the things the Rays have an advantage of continue to is all these low younger players who are, very productive and certainly from a dollar cost average, way more productive than some of these free agents. Once you get to free agency and you get what you're really worth, it turns out to be about 35, 40 cents on the dollar what arbitration is. So that doesn't seem fair. Arbitration is supposed to be accurate, right? But it's not really. So the Rays take advantage of that, and they have a lot of really good players on low salary. And that's cheating, by the way. That's being smart. It's being smart. Where it bites you in the ass as a fan is you would like for them to combine that with going out and getting the Freddie Freemans instead of getting outbid or getting some of these other the Suzukis and others, whether it's for prospects or cash. And don't forget, keeping prospects is keeping cash. That's what that's about. Look at the payroll now. So other teams might part with their prospects because they're not as concerned as what their overall payroll is. They'll go ahead and invest back in their team the money that they're making. The Rays don't do that. So that's why it's always going to be an unlevel playing field for the Rays because of baseball's rules, number one, and also because of the way they choose to run their business. All right, so we'll get into the Rays and the Taylor Walls situation. Taylor Walls, if you hadn't seen it, came out yesterday in support of Ron DeSantis's support women's sport. This is the way I'll put it. So the other will look at it as being anti-transgender and then make the leap to anti-gay, which we'll go through the comments that he has, which I just don't understand whatsoever. and the hate that he's getting for supporting this position is completely unfair. So we'll get into that as well. Rick Hatcher is going to join us. They've got a great, if you're a baseball fan, you are a baseball fan, are you not?
Big one.
Great event coming up Friday night at the Baseball Museum in Ybor City. A bunch of big timers going to be there. So maybe an event that you'll want to be part of. So we'll talk about that in the Baseball Museum in Ybor City, which I have not been to yet. Have you been to it?
I have not been to it. It's been on my bucket list to get there.
Yeah, I've seen it, been by it, but had other more important things to do, like to get down to 7th Avenue and go eat a grater or something. So I stopped. So anyway, we'll chat with Rick Hatcher at 10:30 to find out more about that event and the museum. But last night, the Lightning fall to the Carolina Hurricane, and it was an ugly game, frankly. The Lightning did not play very well. I think Bobby the Chief Taylor summed it up best on the post-game show last night, basically saying they got outplayed. And I think it was 70 shots that Carolina got towards the net, and the Lightning were in the 40s range. Even though time of possession seemed to be a little bit more equal, they did not get the shots on goal or even the dangerous shots on goal. Kucherov just looked out of sorts last night. They got under his skin, no question about it. And the Lightning continued to take a tremendous amount of penalties. And it's weird. Do you think that they're being singled out because they're two-time Cup champions? I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. I think, a lot. Kucherov really late in the game looked ticky-tack to me, especially for a physical game like it was going. But, when you reach around a guy's shoulder and grab him, they're going to call that every time.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people yesterday fans on Twitter who were irate, and they've been like this the last few games, that we're getting hosed and we're facing the refs. I don't like that energy. To me, I don't subscribe to that. Okay. You make your own breaks in the game. That's the way I look at it. When you're two-time Cup champs, there's probably going to be some of that when you're the road team as well. It's just, it is what it is. But here's the problem. When you go to the penalty kill, you got to step up. That's as easy as that. And last night, Carolina came into that game 0 for the last 15 on the power play. And I didn't look like it last night. Look, they were firing on all cylinders.
No, and I just don't like the PK that the Lightning put out there last night was slow and indecisive. And it just seemed that it just allowed Carolina to move the puck wherever they wanted, the time and space. Whereas when Lightning on the power play, they seemed to be hounded every time they had the puck. They couldn't get it in the zone. Carolina was way better at special teams last night. And the Lightning penalty kill and power play have been in the middle, if not bottom third, all year long, and it's got to get better. Nick Paul, he said it after the game. He was out there on the PK, and he's considered a very good penalty killer.
Yes.
Was not last night. He admitted it, said I wasn't good. I was out of position, and he was 0 for 2 in that position and helped give up those goals.
Yeah,
not good.
And the Lightning's power play, listen, they go through some ebbs and flows with it where they get a little too pass happy. And you look at Stamkos and Kucherov specifically, they get in a habit of just looking at each other the entire time, right?
Yeah.
And last night, it wasn't there. It just wasn't there.
Got to move the puck.
You got to move the puck. I mean, even if you go down low, I thought Killorn was moving it really good whenever they were going to him down low.
Yeah.
Just driving the front, you got to get dirty a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't always got to be. I mean, that's been the Lightning's problem for a long time sometimes on these power plays. But this year, something's not working on that unit. They have not figured it out. Nikita Kucherov mentioned just looked rattled from the get-go. It's been like that for me with him for like the past 2 weeks.
Yep.
Looking like pre-2020 Kuch. I mean, the game's over and he's coming out of the box and he wants to start pushing and shoving. I mean, you showed your ass. You're a
superstar. You're better than this.
You don't do those things.
No, you go back to your bench and you go, I'll see you Tuesday, and I'm going to score a hat trick on you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if Pat Maroon and Corey Perry want to get in somebody's face after the game, which they were doing on his behalf, by all means, let those guys get in there. But you're the superstar. Get your ass to the locker room. You didn't play well. Yeah, God forbid, you get over there and, fists start flying, something stupid happens, and you get suspended. Can't have that. Can't have it. That happened in the playoffs a few years ago, remember, against and that's what last night reminded me of.
Yeah.
It was that kind of Cooch that we saw.
Yeah, he needs look, we've got some time before the playoffs hit. We got to get these guys kind of acclimated. It's Nick Paul's first game, and hey, he did get a goal. He did get a very nice goal. Let's hear that one from our good friends at Bally Sports Sun. We're on the road last night. Dave and Brian.
Ball through center of the middle of the ice. Leads it for Colton. Back to Paul. He scores! Nick Paul in his lightning debut with a gorgeous tip ties the game.
That's the way to make a big impression with your new team, and boy, will he'll be feeling good about this after all the anxiety and so many things going through his mind. Nick Paul scores his first goal. Beautiful on the rush here. A little give and go. Really nice pass back by Ross Colton. This is how you do it right at the blue line. Take it over the blue line first, push those D-men back. Then the D-man has to decide, do I turn to the outside to Ross Colton, which is what he does. Colton immediately gives it back to Paul, and Paul just redirects it. Really a tough save for the goaltender, as that one was perfect right inside the goalpost on the far side, and the Lightning are back in business.
Ryan Engbong, Dave Randorf on the call right there. Well described.
Dare I say, more scoring touch in 9 minutes and 57 seconds on ice than somebody else who we shipped away.
Wow, that's just
Too early for that? Is it too early?
Why can't you just be kind?
Why
Can't you just be kind and say nice things? It's better than hate. Don't do that. It's look, it is what it is. Matthew Joseph, we love him. Love the dude. He's awesome. Fantastic. I hope he has a great career in Ottawa.
I don't think he's doing that though.
He's not doing that.
He's not doing that. That was a really good play. It was a really good play.
Am I wrong here? Nick Paul and Bruce Gradkowski separated at birth?
Long lost brothers.
Let me. I'm pulling up their pictures.
I was looking over here. I'm like, why are you looking at Bruce?
It's like when I saw him through the helmet last night, I'm like, doesn't that look like Gradkowski? Let me see. So we'll have to put the images side by side. Maybe not. He's got way more hair.
Not even close.
I don't
think it's close.
I think when you cut off the face, like he's got way more hair. Bruce is bald, but I'm telling you, when you just look at him with the helmet. All right, here we go. Look at him with the helmet on. No, not
even close. I don't know what you're looking
All
at.
right, never mind.
Reboot.
Gradkowski supposed to, he usually comes on Wednesday. So I saw his name and I looked at him through the helmet last time. Looks like Gradkowski on skates. Okay. Strike that. All right. We got Cloran's goal.
Yes.
That goal. We don't even play the other team's goals. We're just mean that way.
I don't want to play him.
Yeah. They're power play goal. Not good.
Away, back up top to Edmund. Great pressure here. There's a shot. They score! Tipped in front by Alex Killorn. 59 seconds to go, and this one's not over yet.
Yeah, it is. It wasn't. But you know what? About 30 seconds earlier, they were in the 6-on-5, or maybe it was the 5-on-4. But Kuch hit the post. He had not a wide open net, but he, for Kuch, he had about a foot on the short side. As Anderson was coming over, and he just hit the post. I thought, if that goes in, then we got about a minute and a half left. But, that's just – you can't count on winning games that way. The Lightning won a lot of games that way this year. But you just can't count on that. They just got outplayed by a team that's better right now.
They're just straight up. They're not generating anything through the middle of the slot at all. They're just not. Everything's to the outside. It's a lot of one and dones, as I've heard Phil Esposito say so many times. That's what it is. It's power play reliant. They need the opportunities, but then they're not scoring on the power plays. So you get what you got now, where they're scoring 1-2 goals a game, maybe. They're getting outshot, by the way, by like 20 shots a game at this moment, which is alarming. Stamkos had a really good opportunity in the first period, I think, where he backhanded it, and Anderson had no idea where it was. It hits the crossbar, comes down, and then, of course, he gets the pad on it. So they're just snake bitten right now. They're just a little snake bit. 2
or fewer goals in 5 of their last 6 games.
It's not the Lightning I know.
That's not the Lightning we know. And my God, Palat had a couple of chances last night. Couldn't bury him. What is he, 18 games now without a goal?
Yeah, he's having a Sorelli tenure from last year.
Wow, that's a lot. But we know he's going to get going. I continue to say this is still kind of the doldrums of the NHL season. We're not quite to the stretch drive, but we're getting there. I think last night kind of had that playoff juice a little bit. I think we'll see this team emerge, and they still got to, they just added 2 big pieces and took away a bunch of guys. So, there's going to be a little bit of transition time. I don't expect them to be at their best until about the playoff starts, and that's fine with me. So let's hear from Coop. Let's hear what he had to say last night. John Cooper, Two-time.
Took a bad too many men there, and then we took another one, and he gave him
too many men.
Gave him a couple goals like that, and momentum off that. Probably got away from the game plan. We started taking pucks backwards, where you really can't do that against these guys, and we paid for it.
Tampa said get a little bit of a rut and 5-on-5 offensively. Is that just a matter of some teams go through this at some points, or you've seen anything not doing that stuff on team?
Yeah. I again, we have chances to score in the first? We did. We had chances to score in the third? We did. Second, not too many. But again, the penalties hurt us, and we spent too much time in our zone. So if you're going to spend time in your zone, it's tough to score. So that was it.
The penalties, I know you guys talk about it a lot and harp on it. Is more so some of them are just more mental kind of. I mean, too many men on the ice is kind of thing. But the stick penalties you guys
too many men is mental.
Yeah.
That's you got to be aware of the game all time, and it's just tough because we got scored on tonight, so that makes it even worse.
Sure. Impressions of Paul there.
That was good. Again, he hasn't. I think he's been on the ice once in 5 or 6 days, so he didn't play a ton. But it's hard when you haven't been on the ice. So, but like what we saw. He had an unlucky break there on that first PK goal, scored a nice goal for us, and big body, can get stuff done with skill. He's going to fit in well.
You talked the other day about finding those guys, kind of their roles, especially on the PK. I mean, that'll just kind of come.
It's just going to come. We got it. This happened every trade deadline. Guys, we got as coaching staff, you have to kind of integrate them a bit. The players. And their heads are spinning. They don't even know where they're going to live. They've been uprooted from where they were, and so it takes time for this to happen. And I'm glad Paul got on the board. That's what you want to do, but it takes time. So believe me, the past trades we've made, it took us a month for things to kind of fall into place. So I'm not worried about that.
You guys are like the champs. You guys are the bar for the rest of the league. But in games against them or the Rangers, you learn about your team a lot too when you play against some of the top teams that are,
Yeah, I mean, they're close games. They're 1-goal games. I like the Ranger game probably more, complete game than I liked in this one. We had a good first, decent third, but the second kind of sucked a little momentum from us, and we just got to be better. They're a good team. Let's be honest. These are 40-plus win teams at this time of the year. They're good.
Yeah, I sense no panic in John Cooper there, and nor should there be. But these are all fixable things, and we're spoiled. Carolina had went winless in 4 games before they played us. A lot of the good teams are quote struggling right now, so it's just that time of year. I'm not going to freak out about it. This core is still the best in the league, and they just got to get these guys kind of acclimated to this new system. Not a big deal.
I don't want to be Mr. Sound the Alarm here, and I have faith in this team that once playoffs come, it'll look a lot different. But I just want to point out that I do think the Eastern Conference this year has caught up to them a little bit in the talent wise. Yes.
Oh, no question.
In the core. I mean, the 8 playoff teams in the East are already decided. Okay, basically, if you look at the standings. Yeah. The 8th best team, I think, by the standings right now is Washington. Yeah. Or Boston.
Washington and Boston are the wild cards right now.
Yikes. No gimmicks. No. Those teams have veterans. They added young guys to
and those teams will be better in the playoffs than they are the regular season.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Every team in the East I could see in the Stanley Cup final. Yeah. That's where it is. And you look at the Lightning are most likely, if they can get, I think Toronto has passed them up in the standings, which might be, is it the top 2 seeds that would face each other in the Atlantic, or is it the one in the wild card?
Changed. I gotta go back and look at it.
I'm trying to remember because I know we played Florida the first round. I'm thinking,
but everything was different with COVID.
Is it different?
Everything was different. Because you had the Canadian.
That's right.
Division.
That's right.
So everything was different. I got to go back and look exactly how the matchups work out. But to your point, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, every one of these 8 teams is as good as the Lightning. I mean, I don't. Normally, would you say that when it comes to playoff time? Hell no. No. You'd say there's 2 or 3 teams I worry about. There's 4 teams maybe that would put the upper echelon. The other 4 that make the playoffs, you're like, Not so this year. There's Washington and us. Who wins? I don't know. Let's go 7. Boston and us was 7. Carolina, Florida. Toronto. Toronto. I'll say, when it's playoff time, so they can't breathe.
Toronto still has it. Yeah, they still have their holes in them. They still have their holes. But all the other teams, I think last year was like there's the Lightning, and then there was we feel like Florida and Carolina might be a year away. And fast forward to the year later, and they look like better teams than the Lightning at the moment. So it's going to be, like I keep saying, it's going to be the toughest challenge yet of this 3-year run. But there's a reason why, like I say, that no team since the Islanders in the 80s has won 3 cups in a row. Right. There's a reason for that.
And look, the Lightning did it last year when they went through Florida, Carolina, and the Islanders.
Yes.
And then, Montreal was what it was. I wouldn't have wanted to face Colorado. That's for damn sure.
I don't think anybody wants them this year.
Yeah. So, look, it's going to be well earned as it is every year. This is going to be a tough road to hoe. And are the Lightning as good as they were last year? Not right now. But as they enter, let's see what this third line does. Let's give it some time and see how it shakes out. They scored a goal last night.
Yeah.
So, but they're there to be more of a shutdown line. So we'll see how that works out. And the fourth line, pretty good at that as well. So I still think this team has a lot of room to grow. I've been saying that all year long. I don't think we've seen their best hockey. I don't think we've seen Kucherov's best hockey. He and Point, how many games have they played together? 30?
Maybe.
I mean, so it just – this year, every year is different. So
and I'm making a point. I mean, he's going to elevate his game in the playoffs. He usually becomes the best player on the ice.
As will Kucherov.
And Hedman as well, who's already been really good.
I like the fact that we've added more size and more jam and more nasty for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I did see that Nick Paul yesterday, the 9 minutes that he played, and he came out, he was hitting everybody in sight. So, it's more physicality, and I think they moved Hagel to the second line, and they bumped Cirelli down to that third line, and Cirelli's going to get some Selke votes defensively. So I'm hoping that third line could be somewhat like the one last year.
Well, we'll see. But I would like to see some improvement as they move towards the playoffs. They'll have Tuesday. Carolina comes here, so we'll get a little. And that thing got chippy last night.
And play next week.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
And Emily, so I'm, and if they play in the playoffs, which they very likely could. I'm here for it. That's going to be a nice series. Nice series. I like, and a couple of friends of mine were at the game last night and said the atmosphere is tremendous up there. Great
Carolina?
Arena. Yeah. Great arena, really great atmosphere, good hockey fans, not jerks like Philadelphia and Boston where, they welcomed you because it's the South, right?
I didn't even ask you, by the way, the Ranger game. Did you have to deal with any of those? Because on the TV side, it felt like it was like the Pittsburgh game all over again.
I did not attend the Ranger game.
Oh, you got out of it,
It was gender equity night. Casey Hudson was filling it for me, did a fantastic job. So they had all lady presentation.
Nice.
And they did a fantastic job. But I wasn't, but I heard it was a great crowd and they did a great job. I forget who filled in for Greg and Paul Porter, but Casey, who works with Pewter Report, lovely young lady, love her, and she did a great job. Great job. Good. So we will be back in the building on Tuesday night for Carolina. And who do we have tomorrow night?
Boston.
Yeah. So here we go. But, last night I was really jacked up to watch that game. It was fun. I was like, you take Tally for a walk. And we got to get back. It's 7:10 puck drop. Got to get there. I was excited to watch some hockey last night. So it's fun. And it's that time of year again where these games are going to be physical. They're going to be fun. That was a fun game to watch last night. It was a lot of action end to end. Didn't like the outcome, but, a little frustrating to watch at times, but great hockey. All right, a couple other things we want to get to in the first 30 minutes that we give you every day, all content. The Dolphins signed Teron Armstead, 3-time Pro Bowler, away from the New Orleans Saints. Less about going to the Dolphins and more about taking him from the Saints. And again, this is part of the salary cap issues that they're going to have. So the Saints are, they get Jameis back, and I think they're still a very good team. But that's a big loss for them. He signs with the Dolphins. The Dolphins making some very interesting moves. They also signed a Connor Williams, an offensive guard, Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds in the backfield, and Cedric Wilson from the Cowboys. So they're getting two of some weapons.
No more excuses.
No more excuses. Yeah. So, and also, forgot to mention this. We mentioned yesterday we expected the signing of Will Golston and Gronk to be the next two. I'm still waiting on Ndamukong Suh. Golston is now in the fold. This is a good signing, and it's a big deal because he plays the run well. Had 4.5 sacks last year. Spent 44% of the defensive snaps. 36 career high, 36 tackles, 11 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for loss. That's a lot of production right there, and a big experienced player at 31. He turns 31 this summer, so this is a big signing. It's a big deal to get these guys back up front. You win in the trenches, boys.
Yeah, it was a great point by Scott Reynolds. I think Will Golston had a career high in his sacks last year with like 4.5 or 5, which it doesn't sound like much, but for the role that he provides, if he can give you 4 or 5 sacks a year, you take that. And similar to Cam Brate, another guy who you wouldn't have expected to last through the Schiano. That goes back to the Schiano era. Schiano, Lovie Smith, Dirk Cutter, Bruce Arians. He's made it through all here. I think he's the longest tenured Buck outside of Levante, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So great career, and it's not over yet. I think he's going to be a big role there in that team.
Yeah, great character guy, great everything, great teammate. Love to have William Golston back. All right, another big story locally here. Taylor Walls, shortstop for your Tampa Bay Rays, and go Noles, retweeted Ron DeSantis's letter declaring Emma Wyant, a Floridian from Sarasota, the best women's swimmer in the 500 relay. Of course, Leah Thomas famously had the quickest time in that event. I will not say she won it. But Taylor Walls said, "I couldn't agree more with Ron DeSantis, who tweeted out, by allowing men to compete in women's sports, the NCAA is destroying opportunities for women, making a mockery of its championships and perpetuating a fraud. In Florida, we reject these lies and recognize Sarasota Emma Wyant as the best women's swimmer in the 500-yard freestyle," to which Taylor Walls retweeted and said, "Couldn't agree more," as we agreed with Governor DeSantis as well. So the hate for Taylor Walls now is through the roof, and I wanted to read a couple of these. This is from Angela Costello, who said, "An ounce of kindness costs nothing, and you take the side of a governor who is pushing bigoted authoritarianism. You're better than this. Tampa Bay is a very LGBTQ plus friendly area, and St. Pete is full of gay. Many of Rays fans don't like it, ? I suggest asking for a trade." So let me ask you this, Angela. How does supporting women's sports go from being fully bigoted against the LGBTQ community? Can you explain that to me? And this is the problem with so many that we talked about it yesterday. How do you go from supporting women's sports to automatically you're a bigoted authoritarian, that you hate the LGBTQ community and you should be shipped out of here? You should be traded. Your livelihood should be ended here in Tampa Bay because you supported women's sports. Why do we automatically make the leap that if you support this, you support women's sports and you support not having trans athletes like Leah Thomas indeed make a mockery of that competition, that you are now totally anti an LGBTQ authoritarian bigot? And the hate that he's receiving, I think the LGBTQ community maybe ought to take a little bit of from their own tweet here and say an ounce of kindness costs nothing, right? And I hate that this gets there's such vitriol because, I've been having some very good, informative, and learned conversations with other people after Brooke Bennett did her interview last week, where I've learned a lot of things and there's an open communication. But here's another one, Rudiger Simpson. "It is plainly bigotry if you're calling them men. They're not men, they are trans women. And if you think they have a genetic advantage, you almost certainly don't understand the process and time frames they have to go through before being able to compete." What? Now, yeah, there's hormone replacement. Hormone replacement does not change the fact for 21 years, Leah Thomas grew up in 6'3", has huge shoulders, much bigger than the other competitors. But not only that, has a lung capacity and we can go through all the genetic advantages. All you got to do is look at the times of men and women, and they're dramatically different in swimming. I mean, these are just data points. This is not political. And I don't hear any of the people ripping Taylor Walls answering the questions about what about the women that she's competing against? What about their rights? Just because they're not gay or not trans, they have no rights? Is that the way this works? I don't think so. And I do think that the entire debate needs to be much kinder. And I've said this from the very beginning. I have tremendous compassion for Leah Thomas. I've listened to a lot of her interviews. She's very sincere, and this must be an awful thing to be going through for her. I hate it for her. It's terrible. But a lot of people, trans, non-trans, especially in sports, go through some horrible situations. And I think we got to be compassionate for all of these different situations that aren't much of their doing. Now, people might argue that much of this is her doing. She's the one who's forcing herself into these competitions. She didn't have to be a competitive swimmer. She could be, how would I say, less vociferous about having the opportunity to and claiming that it's fair because of the hormone replacements that she's gone through. It's clearly still not fair. And, I think Brooke Bennett had it best. The NCAA needed to stand up and say, we're going to create another division for trans athletes. And that's the way it should be. That's the only way of fairness. But again, I've said this, it seems like in the LGBTQ plus community, if whatever your demands are, no matter how unreasonable or ridiculous they may be, if we disagree with them, suddenly we're bigots. And I don't think that's right. That's not right. Do I not care about the suicides, as some have tweeted at me? You don't care about these trans people committing? Of course I do. Of course I do. Do you care about the female girls that are having mental issues because they can't speak up, or if they do speak up about Leah Thomas, they get all this hate on Twitter? And are suicides that in the equation there? Of course they are. Of course they are. You heard Brooke Bennett talk about it the other day. We don't want that for anyone. We want compassion, but there has to be fairness in this debate. And how about we just don't jump from, oh, you're against a trans woman competing to, oh, you're a complete bigot about everything LGBTQ plus. That's not fair. And it's completely inaccurate, by the way. Completely inaccurate. Let's stick to the topic and let's have a little kindness for Taylor Walls. I don't know. Does he have? He's young. I doubt it. But as a father of a young lady who competed in women's sports, I do not want to. And in some sports, it's not really. It's not even clearly. It's swimming and track and things. It's not even close to fair. So I would say, now all these people want Taylor Walls traded because of his political view, and all of them jumping right away to being anti-gay, which is completely wrong. And you should and if you feel differently, I'd love to get you on the show. You can at me at FanstreamJP. We'll get your number and we'll bring you on the show. And if you want to defend Leah Thomas, and I don't even like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is not going after Leah Thomas, if you notice that. Ron DeSantis is going after the NCAA, as Brooke Bennett did, for completely abdicating their responsibilities and putting it all on her, basically. That's what the NCAA did. They completely punted and put it all on and basically set it up for Leah Thomas to get all the vitriol. And Ron DeSantis and Brooke Bennett are right. It's not that. Once again, it's the NCAA. It's the NCAA who are not protecting the very thing they've been going to bat for 40 years with Title IX, and that's women's sports. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back on the other side, we are going to speak with Rick Hatcher, who is the president of the Baseball Museum in Eborn. They've got a big event coming up. So if you're a baseball fan, stay with us. We'll tell you all about it. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new, healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieve collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind award. Always online at thegoldanddiamondsource.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We are presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. And if you have any issues with the stucco damage on your home, especially on the upper level, your second story or third story, you see those cracks on the outside, there could be a lot of damage inside. So get in touch with Chris Palermo. He'll be able to send somebody out there. He'll give you a free consultation, find out if you have a case or if you have any defects in construction as well. So give him a call at 813-221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. That's 813-221-5636. Christopher Palermo will help you out. All right, I want to welcome in Rick Hatcher, who is also the president and CEO of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame and on the board of directors. He joins us now. They have a big event coming up in Ybor City on Friday night we want to tell you about. What's up, Rick? How are you?
Hey, JP, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Baseball, bourbon, and cigars featuring Lou Piniella and Wade Boggs. What could be better than that on a Friday night? Tell me a little bit about the event.
Well, it's something that the Florida Sports Hall of Fame decided to do in conjunction with the Tampa Baseball Museum there at Al Lopez House in Ybor City. And it was to celebrate the baseball history of Tampa. And what two better figures that you can get Wade Boggs and Lou Piniella to come be part of this event. They're both alumni from the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They're both members, and we're excited to be able to do that with probably about 10 other former major league players that have ties to the Tampa area, whether with the Rays or whether being from Tampa, will also be there too. So it's a great evening. Like you said, baseball, bourbon, cigars, what could be better on a Friday night?
Right, in Ybor City, beautiful weather.
That's right. That's right.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on with the Florida Sports Hall of Fame now. You are the president there. I know it's gone through a couple different machinations. What's going on with the Hall of Fame right now?
Well, we're excited. We're back moving after COVID, and we have relocated the museum itself from Polk County over to St. Lucie County, and it's at the Mid-Florida Event Center in Port St. Lucie. They've been a great host for this. It's been there a little over a year, and we started back creating some more exposure opportunities. We had our 2021 enshrinement at the Doral in Miami this past November, and we inducted 8 great Florida Ties alumni. Alonzo Mourning, Eric Reed, you got Dwight Stevenson, and then you throw in the mix of Dara Torres, and with all the Olympic swimming and the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, and it was a great tie-in. And then leading into what we are doing with the Baseball, Bourbon, and Cigars event this weekend in Tampa, and that's helping us springboard into our fall enshrinement this November. That's going to be in the Tampa Bay area as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
We're trying to really keep the ball moving, advancing the runners in the baseball theme, station to station per se. But we're looking forward. Tampa's going to be a great year for us in the Tampa region.
So I understand our good friend Dave Wills of the Rays broadcast team radio will be doing a little Q&A, and nobody tells stories than these baseball guys. So that should be fun, right?
Well, and that's, again, ties to it. I've spoken with Dave a couple of times, and, like you said, what a great way to really, christen the evening off with Lou and with Wade and everything. And I'd like to give, a special thanks to our friends and our board members and everything that are tied to Fanatics. Steve Eves has been helpful with us. Mm-hmm. Our mutual friend Barry Smith has been really behind the scenes making this work, and really has really put a lot of effort in there with this, as well as some other board members. But having Dave that's going to be there and that really knows the history and really what these two players mean to Tampa.
Yeah, and I did an event with Wade about a year ago, and the stories that he tells and the way he tells them. Also, I've had Lou Piniella on my show many, many times, and he is a tremendous storyteller as well. And then where these guys have been and the things they have done and the players that they played with, I mean, it is literally encompasses the history of Major League Baseball. So, and Dave always, is so learned in the game himself. It's going to be a fascinating night. $150 per person, includes food, drink, and entertainment. I imagine we'll have a lot of different bourbons there to be tasted, right?
Oh, there's no doubt. We've got our Papa Pilar's, our spirits sponsor for this, as well as Yingling for our beer. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be great. And we've now, since instead of $150 per ticket, we've created the double play, where you get 2 tickets for $100 a piece.
Oh, nice.
And so we're making a light, again, in the baseball theme of creating that. So we're excited. We do have some limited tickets still available, and they can go to our website for the Florida Sports Hall of Fame and be able to purchase those tickets if they need to.
Rick Hatcher joining us here. He is the president of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Also a good Seminole, as myself, pitched for Florida State for 3 years, and then in the minor league system for the Braves back in 79, 80, 81. Went to one of the many World Series that our Seminoles have gone to and not won in 1980. What was that experience like?
Well, it really was, and that was, again, a long time ago. Times when in years add up, that was Mike Martin's first year as being the head coach at Florida State. And, we went through, won a regional and had a chance to advance to the World Series and play in Omaha, and opened up against the University of Hawaii, and then had to play then back-to-back against University of Arizona. Unfortunately, 0-2, and we were out of there pretty quickly. But an experience by being in Omaha for the Seminoles and everything that comes with it. I was fortunate enough to be able to Mike gave me the ball to start the game as the starting pitcher, and so that in itself was exciting too.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Mike Martin, what a dear friend of mine from my many years there. You know, I like so many of his former players and just folks that love Mike Martin. We rooted for him for so long to get that W, and doesn't mean his career is not Hall of Fame worthy in every way. One of the winning, if not the winningest coach, I think, in college baseball history. Just did a phenomenal job at FSU, and hopefully Junior will be able to bring us a championship at some point. But great man, great program. I would just ask you, and you also coached at Tennessee, Georgia Tech, South Carolina. You know, the baseball right now, especially Major League Baseball, has gone through such a tremendous. I mean, the game is so much different now than when you played. Is it a better game or maybe not as good, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's a better game with what is providing for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, all the analytics that come into it, you know, you've got, if you're watching it on TV and you've got instant replay that's somewhat slowed it down. I'm a traditionalist. I believe, you know, get the call right, trust the guys that's going to get them there. But I understand why things are done the way they are. I'm glad to see the lockouts over with. I'm glad to see baseball's back. I live in Port St. Lucie. I was watching the Mets play the Astros last night in spring training, you know, and so the game is good, and the game needed to come back for the fans, hopefully the fans will continue to support.
And of course, all the people that work in tourism down there in St. Lucie. You lost half the spring training, which is not cool, but you got a little bit left. So, will they play as many games? I know obviously they're starting the season late. So,
yeah, I think they reduced the spring training schedule to almost in half. You know, and so I do see over here on the East Coast that the Mets are playing all their weekday games are being played at night.
Okay.
To get them ready for the season, which that's a change from the traditional way. Typically, you get 3 or 4 night games in spring training for the players. But I think that's one of the elements you're seeing from a shortened spring training is them trying to get players ready. I know Jacob deGrom pitched last night for the Mets, looked great. His first time he's pitched in, 6 months and stuff. And everybody is, you got the signings and free agents is picking up. Correa going to the Twins is big news and everything. We know that the Yankees are going to always be strong. Just going to be in there, the Blue Jays. And so it's nice for spring training in the state of Florida and tourism in general.
Good stuff, Rick. Once again, go to Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Just Google that, get to their website, and you get tickets, 2 for $100, 1 for $150. It's Friday night. What time? 6:30 to 9:30. Is that correct? Yeah.
6:30 to 9:30. Yes. And, and we've got, like you said, 8 to 10 other former players that played in the major leagues that have strong ties to the Tampa area. Come out, get their autographs, get pictures made. We're going to have some Latin music being played. And then, of course, the big deal is Dave's going to interview both Wade and Lou up on stage, and that's being again sponsored by Bayfront Health there in the St. Pete's area. So it's going to be a great evening, great baseball.
Sounds good, Rick. Appreciate your time as always, and enjoy the event on Friday night. I'm sure they'll be tremendously successful. Some great local folks there, and we love celebrating our baseball heritage in Tampa Bay. It's tremendous. So thank you for your time, Rick.
Sure thing, JP. Thank you.
Again, that's baseball, bourbon, and cigars. All you can smoke, all you can drink, all you can take in for the great stories as well. So that'll be fun. All right, we'll take a break. When we get back, we get into a little bit of what's going on with the Rays on the field. A lot of arbitration numbers came out yesterday. Some pitching injuries to talk about, but we're starting to see some games, which is good. Let's get some baseball going. So we'll talk about that when we return. Rich Hollenberg coming up at 11 o'clock. March Madness has come to the Golden Diamond stores. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. The world economy is in chaos and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. We're also presented by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. You know, just because it's not Christmas or, well, Mother's Day is coming up, actually. So you're going to have to be doing some shopping for Mother's Day. Get something sparkly over at the Golden Diamond Source. They have the great Julie collection designed by Julie Weintraub herself. Beautiful, beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces that you can get over there at the Golden Diamond Source. They've got so many watches as well for you guys if you want to check that out. The well-used ones, great condition, and they are great prices, so you can check out those as well. Anything in your budget is always at the Golden Diamond Source, and of course, if you buy a diamond there, it never loses its value. You can bring it back and get fully what you paid for it to upgrade that particular diamond. They also have no interest financing for 5 years, so you can get great value. Even if you don't have a big chunk of cash right now, you want to get an engagement ring, they will finance it for you. So it's only, $30, $40, $50, $60 a month. You'd be surprised at what you can get for that kind of money. So always keep that money local here. Why shop it online? First of all, why would you buy a diamond online? You have no idea who you're dealing with. It can be completely fake. You're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars. No, don't do that. Deal with somebody you know and you trust. They've been here for decades. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right. So arbitrations yesterday, basically the Rays got everybody back that they were hoping to get back, all very reasonable numbers. And it strikes me that they got Glass now $5.1 million for this year when he's going to rehab. There's actually been a little bit of talk of him being able to come back in the postseason. I don't know about that. Probably don't want to force that, but from a timeline standpoint, seems doable because he was injured. We're in middle of the season.
It was June.
Yeah,
it was like June 15th, I believe.
Yeah, about midway. So at the end of the season, that would put him almost at 15, 16 months. Especially with today's rehab, stem cells, and everything else they're using. Who knows? I mean, if you can get him back for a playoff run.
Yeah, but it won't be. I don't know what capacity it'll be, though. I mean, in the playoffs,
imagine him as a closer.
Yeah, I mean, he might be like one of those long relief guys.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the playoffs anyway, and especially with the Rays, if you're starting any of those games, you're going 3 innings, 4 innings max anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really all you would need Glasnow for. But you got to be careful because one more injury away from having to, have that conversation around. And I'm sure they already have those conversations in house about, can we count on this guy in our future here? And he's not a 24-year-old prospect anymore.
Right.
When the Rays got him, you know? So I don't know if they tend to, I think, play it on the safe side. So, but we'll see. We got to get there first. To the playoffs.
And the other part about that for Glass now is, I mean, clearly you'll have control over him the next year as well. So he becomes a trade asset as well.
Yes.
So if he comes back and he pitches to the level that he could, he pitched at before in 23, then if you don't want to sign him to a long-term deal, which the Rays probably won't, if he's a Cy Young caliber player, that means he's going to get 25 to 30 million on the open market.
Yes.
So he comes Blake Snell, and the Rays do what they always do, and they'll not pay him. They will trade him.
Yeah. The good news is I did see, by the way, Luis Patino did throw his bullpen today and said he felt good. So
good.
Looks like they have avoided any injury there at this moment with him. And maybe he'll be in the rotation opening day because we know Shane Baz will not.
Interesting. We don't know that about Shane Baz. Do we know that
he's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before he starts throwing? That's going to take us past.
And that, by the way, that I would guess that's kind of a casualty of the lockdown.
Yeah, it might be
because the teams couldn't have any contact with them, so they didn't know that he had loose bodies or he wasn't throwing or had pain or whatever, so they couldn't even get him to have that surgery. Weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
I think it'll be a minor. It's a very minor procedure, and I think Blake Snell had the same procedure in 2019. And I was after Cy Young season. First half wasn't so good.
Loose bodies.
And then he came back after it, and he had a really good bounce back. So hopefully he'll be better after it.
So Mark Topkin has just penned an article about the Taylor Wall situation since it's blowing up. And I guess he got a quote from Kevin Cash. So as I read through this article, Mayor's manager Kevin Cash said there would be further conversations on the top. Let me go back. Walls was not available for comment during the morning clubhouse media access, but is slated to play in today's exhibition against the Braves in Northport. Rays manager Kevin Cash said it would be further discussions on the topic. Quote, there are a lot of challenging discussions in our society right now, Cash said. It's probably best that we take the time to have more discussions to find clarity and fairness to everybody. Twitter is not the best forum for that. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. But I would not put it beyond the Times to certainly vilify. I'm sure there'll be a opinion piece coming out soon vilifying Taylor Walls for agreeing with Ron DeSantis. Of course, the Times hates Ron DeSantis.
By the way,
and
I think you made a set
backed his opponent.
Yeah,
gleefully backed his opponent in the governor's race, who has since proven to be maybe not governor material.
By the way, and I feel like a lot of people are going after him because it was DeSantis's tweet that he put it on.
Yeah,
and for some people, DeSantis is a divisive figure. Would you not agree?
Of course.
Clearly, and it's politics, it's Twitter. It's just a bad recipe. It's a bad recipe.
But why shouldn't? Why shouldn't he be able to speak out on this?
My point is, I don't think this is a political stand. I don't
either.
When did transgender and gay right. When did all that become a political thing?
Well, it becomes political because the people that get on Twitter, which, by the way, you reminded me yesterday in a very great article on Outkick, is about 3% of America is on Twitter.
Yes.
Say that again. 3% of America. But yet it seems to represent 95% of the talking points.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life. And my thing with it's like people I think are jumping to the point. Okay, Taylor Wall said he couldn't agree more with what DeSantis said. Well, he must be a DeSantis supporter. He must support everything.
Everything he says. He must be DeSantis.
So why are we jumping to that?
Why
are we jumping to that?
Because politically, it's expedient to do so. It's not fair to Taylor Walls. It's not germane to the discussion whatsoever. And this is my problem with it. Everybody takes it to the next level that has nothing to do with what we're actually speaking about and fills it with hate and nastiness.
And what did he say?
And then you can't have a reasonable debate on it.
And by the way, what did he say? He said 3 words.
Yeah.
He said 3 words.
Couldn't agree more.
3 words.
And also that makes him anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah, and y'all are trying to put him on a stake, get rid of him.
Didn't say anything about
this is the best one. And then people do this, by the way, for both sides. Both sides do this. This is my favorite one. He sucks anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He sucks.
Maybe you should be working on your batting average. What's your major league batting average, by the way?
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Maybe you should be working on your Twitter skills, keeping it to the point and not
Just who cares, man? Just move on with your life. You don't like the opinion, move on with your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Both sides, just move on.
Or state your opinion, but keep it to the topic.
State your opinion and have a respectful conversation.
Don't automatically.
It's that easy.
Yeah, crazy. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Rich Hollenberg will talk some baseball with us as we'll get into the on-the-field stuff for the Rays, what exactly is happening there in Port Charlotte. I'm excited about this team. Despite them not making any big splashes, still very excited about what they have coming back. So we'll talk with Rich Hollenberg next. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value toward. Of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our second hour presented by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you're looking for a new primary care physician, Christopher Lugo and his medical team are waiting and willing. So check them out. It's a different way of doing it. They'll spend lots of time with you, personalized medicine, one-size-fits-all therapy. So check them out at BAMMC.com. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Rich Hollenberg from the Rays broadcast team, who joins us now. Are you in Port Charlotte, my friend, or have you gotten out to spring training yet?
No, I am making my first appearance at spring training on Friday.
Nice.
And cannot wait.
Isn't there something special about this time of year when you get out to the ball yard, especially spring training? Just love it.
It is, I feel like sports fans like you and me, like every couple of months we could say this, but I truly mean it when I say this now. the end of March is my favorite time of year in sports, because of March Madness on one side, you have the finishing up of college basketball season with the greatest sporting event, in my opinion, in all of sports. And then at the very same time, you have the eternal optimism of the start of Major League Baseball, and spring training is always a joy to go to. And then that dovetails right into the start of the regular season, which is always special too. So I'm on cloud nine. I'm recovered from a week's worth of spring break, recharge the batteries, and I'm ready to roll.
Hey, so you've been calling college basketball games this year as well. Any thoughts on who's left your Final Four? Some great games in the first week. St. Peter's being the great Cinderella this year. Fun stuff.
Yeah, my expert analysis on the brackets this year, JP, is that mine suck. That's the expert analysis right there. But I know I'm not alone in that.
No.
I always wonder. I just have, too much recency bias from covering the Big 12. I had Texas Tech and Kansas, and yes, I picked Iowa State to make it to the Sweet 16.
Nice.
I also picked Baylor. And, listen, Baylor and TCU could both be in the Sweet 16 were it not for just a couple of buckets here and there. So the Big 12 has shown out really well. But I think, we're heading towards what's going to be a super memorable Final Four. I have Gonzaga and Kansas in the championship game.
Yeah.
So, right now I'm looking good in terms of that. But the matchups in the Sweet 16 and beyond are just going to be amazing. What I think most people are experiencing now is something that I had the luxury of seeing firsthand all season long, how viciously tough every defense in the Big 12 is.
Oh.
And it's not only affected the teams they're playing, it's affected the officiating as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. Iowa State's got Miami. By the way, how does Iowa State and Iowa have better football and basketball programs than Florida and Florida State?
That's
I would think it would be really hard to recruit in Iowa State, but somehow they have better basketball and football teams than FSU in Florida. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Texas Tech Duke game. Will it be Krzyzewski's last game? Because Texas, like you say, Texas Tech's defense is just ridiculous.
I think it will be. I think out of the remaining games, I think that could be the biggest blowout. Now, I don't think it's going to be a 20-point margin, but I think Texas Tech handles Duke fairly easily. I think it's going to be a double-digit margin, JP.
I might have to bet that one. All right, let's talk some baseball here. The Rays, famously did not, they went after a lot of guys, and Freddie Freeman and Chapman and Olsen, Suzuki, all of them didn't get any of them. So I think in some ways Rays fans are kind of deflated. But when you start looking at the roster that's coming back, this is essentially the team that won 100 games last year. So, and a lot of them are young and are going to get better this year, take that leap in the second season for a lot of them. So let's do the Rich Hollenberg optimistic forecast for the Rays this year.
I love it. Well, I think you are exactly right. I think all these other teams, I just tweeted this yesterday, as a matter of fact, all the other teams, and by all the other teams, I mean the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
They all went and got some big, big names. And I do think all three of those teams are going to be good. I am mostly concerned with Toronto. When you look at that lineup, 1 through 9, and that pitching staff, I think this could be the year they break through.
Yeah.
But the reason these three teams are doing that is because they're chasing the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's right.
As Rays fans, we have to keep that in mind. This is going to be, if everything plays out, and that's always the big if, especially with the Rays, where they have a thinner margin of error than any of those teams we just talked about, JP. If things break the right way for Tampa Bay, they could win 100 games again.
Yep.
They are that good. They are that talented. If they're healthier than they were last year, and they were banged up last year, especially on the pitching staff, if Vidal Brujan and Josh Lowe get some serious reps because of how coveted the Rays prize versatility, if Taylor Walls continues to improve, I mean, and then we haven't even talked about Wander Franco playing in his first full season in Major League Baseball. They are the defending champs for a reason. They wear the crown, and it's not going to be easy to take that crown from Tampa Bay this year.
No, I think, there's always this thing that, we watched all the games and we see this on a yearly basis. It's, the edge that the Rays play with. And the more these other teams stock up on high price free agents, the more they have that type of element in their game. And I've seen it for years and years. And it's great to have that talent. But in a 162 game season, when you got to find some energy and some motivation every single day, that's never an issue for the Rays players because they're always trying to prove themselves. Whereas these other guys, it's just not really that way. And I think it has an effect. Maybe with Toronto, they still have a core of young players and they've added some older players, which is really the perfect mix, I think. So maybe that's not an issue, but I think that's kind of the secret sauce for the Rays that they will always, and I mean always, have in their camp. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do. And I'll take it a step further, JP. I think that those three teams that we're talking about, because Baltimore's still a couple of years away from getting back into any kind of serious contention, but Toronto, Boston, and New York, it's a blessing and a curse to be a big market team, right? If you're a big market team, it's almost, incumbent upon you to spend and spend. And Yankees and Red Sox are used to that. That's how they do business. But Toronto is now in that game too. And I think I agree with you. I think Toronto's mix right now is as close to the Rays way of doing things as you can be for the time being. Obviously, Vlad's contract's going to come up soon, and Bo Bichette's contract is going to come up soon, and you can go down that list. But they are young and deep and hungry, and I think last year probably will leave a little bit of a sour taste in their mouths. And then they go and add a guy like Matt Chapman, who's the best defensive third baseman in baseball and could slug the ball like anybody's business. And they have, like I said, an elite starting pitching rotation. I think they're going to be the biggest challenge to the Rays three-peating as American League East champs.
Rich Hollenberg joining us here from the Rays broadcast team. Who are some of the guys you think that take a next step this year? I mean, we've got so many names, especially in the bullpen, guys that got hurt last year that are coming back. I mean, you can even go as far as Ryan Yarbrough. I thought John Romano had a great column today talking about, why last year was very much an anomaly for him, but, he's picked up some arm strength in the offseason. He's throwing a little bit harder and may get that late break back on his cutter. I mean, you get Yarbrough back to the numbers that he was in 19 and 20. I mean, that's like getting a whole new player, right?
It is. And the one name that comes, obviously, first, second, and third for the Rays to succeed is pitching.
Yeah. So
I look at this pitching staff, and yes, Shane Baz is down for a few weeks. And yes, Luis Patino scratched himself from his first start yesterday. I understand all that. I think Drew Rasmussen is going to be an X factor this year because he's heading into camp knowing his role with this club, and that is going to be he's a starter. He is in this rotation. And then you look at this bullpen. One thing that blows my mind, JP, and this is the first year I could really remember feeling this way since the Rays have been competitive over the course of the last, let's call it 5 years. They have minimal turnover this year. I mean, yeah, they lost a guy like Colin McHugh, and, there are some names. Obviously, Nelly Cruz, we knew he wasn't coming back. But the majority of this team, when you look at the lineups that are being put out right now, 1 through 9, and you look at the arms they're putting out there, these are guys that we know. These are guys that we're familiar with. And yet they still have those characteristics that you touched on so appropriately. They're hungry, they're young, or they're veterans trying to prove that they still got gas left in the tank. A guy like Corey Kluber comes to mind.
Yep.
I just think that there is a definitive culture and mindset to this team that this year, more than in the last few years, is coming back from last year instead of Kevin Cash and the rest of the staff having to indoctrinate new players like this is the way we do things. This is the kind of buy-in we need. This is the kind of clubhouse guy we need. I think they have all of that. And they've, pieced a couple of extra guys like Brooks Raley coming in, things like that, where they've added to the pot. But that pot is remarkably familiar to last year's 100-win team.
Rich Hollenberg joining us here. Do you think KK and Austin Meadows will be on the opening day roster?
Yes, I do. I don't know if they'll be on the team come trade deadline,
right?
But I think they will be on the roster. And here's even more optimism from your good friend Rich Hollenberg, JP. I think they will play their way onto staying on this team until at least the trade deadline. Now, we all know, especially with the Rays, sometimes you play well enough to get traded instead of playing well enough to stick around.
Yep.
But Kevin Kiermaier's locked up, and it's not like he's vying for a new contract. So they're sticking with him until a good deal comes along. Until then, they value his defense and whatever offense they can give him or he can give them as much as any outfielder in all of baseball. Now, the Rays happen to be deep at the outfield position, but they're deep pretty much everywhere. And that's the strength of this team, their depth and their versatility. So short answer long, I think both of those guys will be on the opening day roster, and I think both will be major contributors to the Rays getting off to a fast start in 2022.
Rich Hollenberg joining us here. What about Josh Lowe? What do you think? Because obviously that kind of dovetails with Meadows. Do they have to make room for him to get some major league ABs? Could he be a guy that just kind of comes up here and lights it on fire and has to play? What do you think?
He absolutely could. And look, it could come at the expense of Austin Meadows. It could come at the expense of Brett Phillips.
Yeah.
Brett's come into camp, in the best shape of his life. He obviously makes a lot of headlines because of the type of person that he is. But let's face it, I think Brett would be the first one to tell you that pound for pound, Josh Lowe is a much more talented baseball player than Brett Phillips, tools-wise. I think a guy like Josh Lowe is the one who suffers the most from a 3-week spring training instead of a 4-week spring training, because for a guy as talented as Josh, that's one less week that he gets to prove that he belongs. So he might just numbers game. He might have to start in AAA Durham again, but we've seen that Durham shuttle work overtime year after year after year, and he has seat number 1 or seat number 1A with Vidal Brujan on that Durham shuttle. He'll be up, and he might go back, but he'll probably end up being up more than he is back this coming season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of those. And Brujan is another name you mentioned. He almost went yard the other day. He's dripping with just great talent. And between he and Wander Franco, and Taylor Walls, I think is got a great chance to, improve his offense, and already a tremendous defensive player. So many good young players, and you just don't know, how good they can be. And especially, and for Wander Franco, hell, you don't know. This could be an MVP season for him. He could go. There are many that believe he's just as good as Fernando Tatis. And if he were to reach those numbers, my God, what would that do for this team?
Yeah, just scary.
Yeah.
The only thing you wonder is how's the big contract going to affect him? Because you just don't know. But every analysis and every educated opinion says that before the ungodly talent that he displays for all of us to see, the thing that makes him an elite prospect is his mindset and his work ethic. So let's hope that rules the day for Wander Franco, despite the fact that now he has more money than he ever dreamed of having in his or his family's lifetime. And if that's the case, if he continues to work as hard as everyone says that he does and improves at the trajectory that we've seen him improve, he will be an MVP candidate, because he's going to get ABs. He's going to get reps. He's the one guy that's not going to get a lot of rest on the bench. And he's going to be a cornerstone for this team for, the foreseeable future. So it'll be his stage to determine how good he ends up being this year versus next year versus the year after that. The biggest analogy, or maybe the best analogy I could give you, JP, is a very close one, and that's Vlad Guerrero Jr. He was an 80th grade guy, just like Wander Franco was coming out of the minors. And we've seen that progression from Vlad Guerrero Jr., except for the fact that Wander Franco keeps himself in really good shape. And the big thing that kind of hamstrung literally and figuratively Vlad Jr. was he let his weight get in the way of his performance a little 2 seasons ago, but he rebounded last year and had, by all indications, an MVP caliber season. I think he's the front runner to win AL MVP this year, but I could see next year and the year after that, those are the 2 names that are going to be consistently coming up when you say, who do you think is going to win American League Most Valuable Player? Those are the 2 names that are going to be given for the next few years to come.
I would agree with that. All right, my friend. Great stuff as always. Look forward to. Are you calling the game on Friday or?
No, I am just. I'm going to do my due diligence.
Yes.
See all the guys and say hello and just soak it in like every other fan.
Man, it was great to hear Neil and Doug calling the game. It's just great to hear you guys back on Bally's. And by the way, yeah, I think there was a little discussion about Spectrum not picking up the Bally's, and there was some contract negotiations going on. I've been told by an executive that that's almost done. The games will be on Spectrum, and there's an app coming out for Bally's as well, probably mid-season, where you'll have to pay for it, but you'll be able to. You don't have to have a cable subscription, so it's going to make it more widely available for Rays fans to get the baseball, which is good news. So we won't miss.
Amen to that.
Anything going
Amen
on.
to that.
All right, Rich, good stuff, my man. We'll talk to you
All
soon.
right.
Thanks.
See you, brother.
All right. I need to go down there to spring training. I love some spring training. Yankees. And
so long since I've been down there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hike.
It's a hike.
It's a hike. Right? And
worth
once
it.
you get down there, it's like you're going to see baseball, and that's it.
And it looks like they may be leaving there.
Really?
Yeah. Pasco County evidently is getting ready to make a bid for the Rays, which would be great because it'd be closer.
Be closer. Spring training atmosphere.
Yeah.
When I think of spring training, I don't know. Port Charlotte sounds like a spring training town.
But there's nothing around that stadium.
No, there's not. There's like a Buffalo Wings and Rings.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's got, it's right off the interstate, which is, but it's just not, there's no atmosphere around it.
But I really like the stadium itself, though.
Yeah,
I really like.
Yeah, it'd be, I wish they could like Dunedin is such a great ballpark and a great little city.
Either.
Never been to Dunedin?
No.
Oh man. Like that downtown Dunedin and the ballpark is like walking distance from like all the bars and rastants. Oh, fantastic.
I haven't even been in Dunedin. This is bad.
Yeah, you should go check
go
check out a Blue Jays. Like the Blue Jays play the Rays. It's like take the day. You and Casey go down and have dinner or have lunch or whatever. If it's a night game or whatever, it's just walk around down there. It's fantastic.
It's bold of you to assume that Casey's going to go to a baseball game.
Well, that's why that's why the area is important. She'll love the pregame.
We got to get Casey on this show to do a rant about Tropicana Field, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to hear of somebody who can't stand that place.
Well, she's in my camp.
She's in your camp.
Yeah.
100% on that.
Yeah. Okay. No, absolutely.
So I'm gonna have to.
Well, and that's what's so important about the stadium and baseball is, in this day and age, it can't just be about baseball. Sorry, can't be. I mean, you have 81 home games. It's got to be. You got to give them more. You got to have an entertainment area around for the non-baseball fans to want to come to. And they'll sit through 4 or 5 innings of baseball if they get to go to a really cool area and it can, before and after the game can do some shopping and do all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
The only part of that stadium that Casey actually enjoys is she's like every typical casual fan. I want to go touch the Stingrays. Okay,
of course.
That's what she does.
Right.
And then we go to that little section outside where you could play like beer pong with the little kickballs.
Yeah,
you've been out to that outside section.
Yeah.
And then I tell her we got to go watch.
Rec, yeah.
And then I tell her we got to go watch the game.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
The face drops.
That's fair. Well, you got to. It's all about compromise, right?
All about
compromise. Little for you, little for me. Everybody happy. Yeah. See, in the new stadium, all I want is just I asked Hagen to save me a little slot in center field. JP's Brew Pub, Burgers and Brew Pub, and we'll have the best. We'll have the best lasagna, and maybe the first lasagna ever at a baseball yard. My mom's Roxana D'Amelia's lasagna recipe. Oh, and meatballs. It's the best. She had burgers, wings, craft beer, and lasagna.
We could put
that's the whole menu right there.
Put an ice statue of you right in front.
Why an ice statue?
An ice
because it's going to melt and never have to see it again.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. I get it. No, that's all I asked for. So I'll be hosting the show there, overlooking the field from center field, having a couple craft beers and some maybe a little white wine and lasagna. So isn't that a little something different? JP's Brew Pub and.
Well, Richie P says right here, hate to break it to you, but Stu's not letting you in. You'll end up on Bay News 9, LOL.
Stu ain't going to be the owner. Got news for you, Richie P. He ain't going to be the owner for much longer, in my opinion. So there you go. I'll be having to ask Mr. Vinnick or Mr. Jeter for we shall see. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I still think it's very, very much a possibility. This lawsuit is not good for Major League Baseball, and it's not good for Stu Sternberg, and deservedly so. When you do business like that, that's what you get. Hopefully we can get to that, and we're going to talk about this. We haven't had a chance to probably take a break. Let's do that. We'll take a break. We talked about this yesterday. Jane Castor's comments, and I'll tell you why that's so important. And I'll give you a couple other tidbits on the stadium when we come back. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month? And the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade it anytime and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We are brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center in our second hour. Check them out at BAMMC.com. Thanks to Rich Hollenberg for coming on, talking some Rays baseball. Jane Castor yesterday in an interview with the Times, basically asking the Rays, who curiously have not said anything about their future plans since the whole Sister City thing blew up. Now, they are continuing to negotiate and work with Hillsborough County on terms of the design of the stadium. Ken Hagan told us that last week in our interview. By the way, if you missed that, a lot of interesting stuff in that interview. He talked about looking at some type of rain screen or some type of covering that isn't a full retractable roof, because the retractable roof, by the way, folks, you'd only have it open maybe 10 to 15 times during the year. So it's not really cost effective. So they're looking at other ways to, to be able to cover the stadium and keep it rain and storm proof, so you won't have the rainouts, but not necessarily do the huge expenditure. And there's a lot of different ways they can do that. And I think innovative ways, which I'm very much looking forward to. There's a lot of, because I would like there, on good days, especially in April and May, to be able to, to have openings where you can, kind of it be an outside thing. It can also be used as an outdoor concert venue, and a lot of different things you could use the stadium for, which they intend to do. So I think the design of it's going to be very interesting. She also mentioned it, kind of a Camden Yards design that would fit right in with Ybor City. I'm very excited to see that whole part of it. And we probably won't see it because Ken had said first quarter, but he did say, now that the Sister Cities thing is dead, they had to do some change in terms of calculations for full season. So it might be a little bit later than April 1st. But he said it's coming soon. So, and at that point, hopefully we'll see where the Rays are intending to be. If indeed, and I think this is one of the reasons Mayor Castor was like, hey, the Rays have to tell us where they want to be. Because she doesn't want to see this be bogged down any further, but because both municipalities are really looking at trying to redevelop their areas, whether it be the Trop or Ybor City. There's a lot of pressure right now to get those places developed. So, we'll see some, I think, movement here coming soon. But I think it's very important for Mayor Castor to start putting pressure on the Rays to tell us where they want to be and to get this thing hammered out, because we're 2027 is approaching quickly.
believe it or not, and they're running out of time. They've got to get this financing done this year so they can break ground at the, in 2023, because it's going to take about 3 years to finish that stadium and get it done. You don't want to be moving out, the lease be up at the Trop and still not have the stadium finished. You don't want that to be the situation. So you want to have at least a year, if not 2, to be able to do that. So we'll see where it goes right now. But I think there's a lot of momentum moving towards us getting a financial plan here soon. And of course, a lot of that depends on, what kind of roof they're going to have, et cetera, et cetera. And I do think there's complicating the issue right now are these lawsuits and whether Stu Sternberg is going to be in control of this team. And if Major League Baseball does make a move, and I think they're going to have to make some type of move unless the judge or the Rays somehow win this appeal and the lawsuit is not going to go to a jury trial, and everything can be basically kept secret and under wraps, which I don't expect that to happen. I just, with the legal people that we've talked to, Christopher Palermo and others, there's really no basis for, once this judge has kind of made her decision on, it's going to be a jury trial, for her to reverse that or be overturned and appealed. It could happen. But I think the more appropriate response is going to be do something with Stu Sternberg. So we'll see where that goes. Some other issues that we wanted to get into. I don't know if you've seen this, Nick. I think Outkick did a story on it. The volunteer fireman at University of Tennessee, Ben Joyce, throwing 104 miles an hour.
Yeah, with control.
With control. Yeah. 104. Consistently 102, 103, 104, and a changeup at 91. Good luck with that.
Where are they finding these kids at? And what are they?
Bigger, stronger?
What is the training that they're going? Like, is this like good for baseball? Because we're getting there's so many
10
guys.
Years, is it going to be 120?
I don't know.
How does that work?
You got so many guys. I feel like every young pitcher never just successfully makes it to the MLB without some kind of UCL or shoulder. It's always something,
And now they just put them back together and they come back and they throw even harder.
Yeah, it's like Tommy
bionic
John.
Arms.
Tommy John used to be like a death knell for your career.
Oh, yeah. No.
And now you come back and you're better.
Yeah.
I have seen that guy. I had a chance to watch. It is appointment television for a pitcher, to be honest. It really is.
What year is he?
I'm not sure.
Where did he come from?
I'm not sure. Let's do a quick little.
Yeah.
Let me get
how close do you to come to the Rays? Somebody's gonna be able to draft him in the first round. I guess
he's gonna be a great closer.
Yeah, with the new CBA, you can't be a starter and throw that hard all the time.
He's from Knoxville, junior. So it looks like he got 6'5", 225.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that's a presence right there.
That's part of it. 6'5", 225, and you're throwing 104 miles an hour.
Good luck with that.
This has to be my favorite baseball story, though. The Mets and the Yankees players. Have you seen this?
I have. I've written a few things on it with Outkick. Written a few things.
So can you explain? I read this thing yesterday where the rules are they're going to have to change in the parking lot. They're going to bring them their uniforms in the parking lot. They have to change in the parking lot and then go straight to the field. Can't go into the clubhouse. Can't go into the dugout. So what do they do between innings? These are for non-vaccinated Mets and Yankees players. And by the way, visiting players don't have to adhere to any of these stupid ass mandates. I mean, this is like, it's laughable at this point. It is completely. Who are they protecting?
If I'm
and who
correct,
are they hurting?
I think they ratified that part of the rule.
They did.
They got away with the visiting thing.
Okay.
So they got rid of that. I think Adams, the mayor.
So the visiting players who are unvaccinated can't play either.
Yeah, I believe so. I think he
instead of going the other way.
Yeah, I think Adams said that they understood that was there was a flaw.
Now they understand that the vaccinated people can shed the virus, can also get Jen Psaki, the spokesperson for the president, now has COVID twice and she's taken 17 boosters. We have data out there now that show the efficacy after a couple of boosters goes the other way. In the UK, you're more likely to get COVID and more likely to be hospitalized the more shots you get. This is their empirical data, not mine. So even with all this information and more negative information coming out about the vaccine, although you won't read it in American newspapers because it's banned, you can't say anything negative about the vaccine. Even with all that out there, we're still forcing young people who have no zero, almost zero issues with COVID, especially at this point, to get a vaccine. This makes zero sense. So are they still going to have to adhere to these ridiculous rules?
Well, it doesn't make sense here. It's like, did we not just play a full season with a vaccine like kind of partially available to everybody?
Yeah.
Did we not just do that?
Yeah. I mean, none of it makes any scientific sense whatsoever.
It makes no sense. Like the NFL is done away with all their protocols to their credit. They've led the way in that. Even the NBA, for the most part, the NHL have loosened up on everything. I mean, we have fans in Canada again, for crying out loud. This is, to me, like going backwards. It feels like it's going backwards, does it not?
Yes, completely backwards. When COVID, and I know there's a new strain coming, but again, this is it's not, the deaths and hospitalizations are not increasing, they're still decreasing. And it just, when you compare this with other diseases and other things, it's completely ridiculous. And again, forcing it, we've already had multiple court decisions here that reverse these vaccine mandates. It's unconstitutional. So I don't even understand how they could still even do this and demand it. I guess they're private businesses. They can do that.
Yeah. And I think it's notable in a lot for the New York teams, because if I'm correct, last year, the Yankees and the Mets might have been the two least vaccinated teams in the league, if I'm not mistaken, last year.
Yeah.
And Aaron Judge is clearly the most notable of those. Right. So could you see a scenario where Aaron Judge is, not playing 82 games this year?
Yeah. They're that stupid.
Listen,
great.
I
Can't wait till the Rays can go to
for the Rays'
New York.
sake. It's really good. But,
fantastic.
Who knows? I have a feeling Aaron Judge will end up getting vaccinated.
That would be a shame.
He'll end up getting vaccinated.
That would be a shame to make him do that. Yeah.
Sitting out 82 games. I mean, I can imagine New York's
would he get paid
doing that.
I guess he would get paid, right?
I would assume so.
Oh, okay. So USFL rules, 3-point conversions, forward passes.
A lot of crazy stuff in here.
What the hell's going on with the USFL? We got to get our man Skip Holtz on.
I don't know if you're going to like it, but they're trying to make it more offensive heavy as is the game is going.
Get rid of running backs altogether. Yeah.
I kind of like this.
Why even have defenses? Why do we even have defenses out there if we want more scoring? If we get rid of all defensive players,
how about 11,
they'll score on every play. It'll be great.
11 on 7.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Yeah. No, great idea. Wait, just more scoring. Let's just make it completely unfair for the defense. I mean, at what point at what point is it too much? I don't know. It's ridiculous. So 3 conversions.
They're going to have 1 point, 2 point, 3 point conversion.
What do you got to do for a 3-point conversion?
You have to score from the 10-yard line.
Oh, from the 10-yard line.
Yeah. 2 points is from the 2, and then 1 is the regular extra point.
I like that. I guess it's kind of interesting.
The onside kick, you could do the traditional onside kick, or you can run a 4th and 12 play from your own 33-yard line. If you make it, obviously you get possession from that spot. If the team attempted the onside fails, the defense gets the ball wherever the offense is down, is the flip side there.
I kind of like that.
And here's the overtime. The overtime is probably the most significant one. It's going to be a shootout from the 2-yard line. So each team is going to run a total of 3 plays. Each successful scoring attempt will receive 2 points. Team with the most points after each team has run 3 plays wins. If it's tied, then they'll go into a sudden death scenario where the winner of that wins the game.
2 point, 2 point, 2 point.
Yes.
I like that.
So
playing offense and defense.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the college rule.
Now you can do 2 forward passes. 2 forward passes. So that's to open up the creativity, make it more exciting.
2 forward passes beyond the line of scrimmage?
Yes, beyond the line of scrimmage. Behind the line of scrimmage. Behind the line of scrimmage, yes.
So, okay, so you can pitch the ball forward, and then that person can throw it.
Yes. And it'll also be the USF, the replay also is going to be a lot different. So they will have the authority to overrule incorrect personal foul calls, including roughing the passer, hits on a defensive player's face masks, horse collars, and more. So the refs are going to have a much more say, it looks like, in this game to make sure that they're calling it right, which the NFL did it for a year with pass interference, and it was a disaster.
It was a disaster. I hate having judgment calls, on replay. It just leads to so much bull crap. Not good.
Yeah, but that's the notable rule changes, and again, that's going to start April 16th. And reminder, you will not be able to go watch your Tampa Bay Bandits play unless you want to go to Birmingham. Tickets are only $10 each.
Anybody taking road trip to Birmingham? When did the game start?
April 16th.
Oh. Couple other quick stories. Mitchell High's hockey team is headed for the USA Hockey National Championships this week in Dallas, Texas. They won a 6th state title earlier this week, so congratulations to Dave Bourdoin, head coach there at Mitchell High School, and good luck as they head out to the national championship. And they've done very well on the national championship stage. Another big story that is I think one of those local story. Georgina, the girl from USF. I'm trying to find the story right now, and of course it's gone by the wayside. Georgina Korek set the all-time USF strikeout record. She had a perfect game earlier this year. She is just smoking it. She's going to put USF in a great position in the postseason. I mean,
we got a chance to
incredible.
I know you got a chance to meet with her, and we got a chance to see her last year at the event we went to, which I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah,
the one you emceed.
Yeah,
was it the Hall of Fame, the Tampa Sports Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
and she was the recipient of some award there, and she got to speak and really well
great young lady,
great young lady. And I think Chris Terrell has been following her last few games here because she is maybe the best pitcher in the country right now.
So entering Tuesday game, she's 215 allowed, 3 earned runs in 141 innings. That's an ERA of 0.1.
That's nuts. That is nuts.
Is that insane? Wow. So and I guess what is their record right now? Well, we'll have to get old Ken Erickson on the show. That's got to be really hard to manage her. Like, here's the ball. Georgina, go get him.
Go carry us.
I'll be back in a couple hours. See you when we're done. So congrats.
Yeah, they're 28-7.
28-7.
Yeah.
Are they ranked yet? They got to be ranked.
They are not ranked.
They're not ranked?
No, you'll know. You don't understand the struggle of the AAC to get ranked at anything.
In anything?
Like, I don't know if you were keeping tabs on the women's basketball tournament at all, but UCF was playing UConn.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that game.
It basically was a home game for UConn.
Of course, yeah.
UCF this year was 26-3 and didn't get ranked until they won the AAC tournament.
What?
I'm not even kidding on that.
How ridiculous is that?
And they beat ranked teams, and they only lost to teams who were ranked like in the 10. And they didn't get ranked until they won the tournament.
That's ridiculous.
There you go, right there. It's hard to get ranked when you're in the AAC.
I think it's some of the and some of the lady sports they give a lot more deference to the
they do
the legacy teams, and the upstarts have a hard time getting a foothold in some of the rankings. So, but go get them, Georgina. We'll be following you. She has had an incredible season this year, and hopefully can take the Bulls deep into the tournament this year. Because, of course, FSU has a great team again this year. So that's they'll probably maybe even be involved in a little bit of a regional. FSU does not want to run into Georgina Korek. I can tell you that right now. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back for our final segment. I want to hit the lightning again. We'll hear from Steven Stamkos after last night's 3-2 loss to the Carolina Hurricane in what was kind of a playoff atmosphere up there. We may see these cats in the playoffs. So we'll do that and wrap up the show when we come back. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes.
will answer calls and concerns, give you workable strategies to be smart with your money, reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month? And the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieve collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. The second hour brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Check them out at BAMMC.com. The Chiefs trading Tyreek Hill. What the F is going on here? Why are they trading Tyreek Hill? Is he wants to be traded? Perhaps this is about money.
Adam Schefter reporting Jets and Dolphins are in serious talks to trade for Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Per league sources, Hill and Chiefs are mulling what to do, but Hill's time in KC looks like it's coming to an end.
It looks like he wanted it all comes back to money. Extension talks have stalled.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we got a Devontae Adams type of thing on our mind here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Tyreek Hill, though, like Patrick Mahomes is the perfect quarterback for you, and you want to go play with Tua or Zach Wilson?
It's all about getting the bag, bro. Got to secure the bag.
Tell you what, from a fantasy football strategy, I traded Tyreek Hill a month ago, so this would be great for me.
Why?
Huh?
Why is it good? Oh, you traded him.
I traded him to acquire Stephon Diggs. And if Tyreek Hill goes to the Jets or Dolphins, I'm telling you that value is plummeting.
Why the hell would you do that?
I don't know, man.
I mean, how much more? Again, we had this conversation yesterday. It's like, Chris Godwin made the smart decision to stay here and play with Tom Brady and sign maybe a lesser deal for a shorter amount of time. And now you want to go catch passes from Zach Wilson? Really? Or Tua? Like not down the field? That makes just because you make a couple extra million a year.
I don't.
You could stay in Kansas City with Mahomes and be relevant. And of course, Kansas City compared to he wants to go to Miami. Kind of get that play in Miami, but nah,
it doesn't.
It's good for the Bucs.
It's great for the Bucs.
Good for the Bucs. Take another contender off the board.
I still thought the Chiefs were the favorite in the AFC West, which is crowded right now. But if they lose Tyreek Hill,
and it's not like Mahomes is, his career is gone on a upward path. I'm not saying he's ever going to be bad, but this whole idea that he's going to, let's rename the MVP award the Pat Mahomes Award because he's going to win it every year. It's like, the NFL doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You get injured, people catch up, your offensive line. It's still a team game. But, I mean, when you have Mahomes, you're always going to be in the hunt. I get it. But, it's not dominating the league every single year. Not happening.
I'm just stunned. I can't even say I'm really stunned because, look, this offseason, the last 10 days of what's been going on in the NFL, of the new faces and new places. I mean, everybody that's like a name apparently is on the trade block. Nobody's safe.
Listen to the Dolphins right now. Running backs, Chase Edmonds and Mostert. Teron Armstead is now your left tackle. Connor Williams is now your left guard. You retained Gesicki, one of the best tight ends in the game. Your ex-receiver is Devontae Parker, who, if he can stay healthy, is a great receiver. Then Jalen Waddle and Cedric Wilson.
Receiver.
Cedric Wilson, underrated.
Yeah,
and Jalen Waddle
was awesome this past year.
Wow. And then Devontae Parker, move him out, put Tyreek Hill in there.
And maybe he's expendable then, honestly. He might be expendable.
Devontae Parker?
He might be.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Tyreek Hill.
Because you can roll out with a 3 wide receiver set of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle,
Cedric Wilson. Gesicki is,
with Gesicki.
Too bad you don't have a quarterback and throw it more than 40 yards. Ooh, ouch, bang.
A little bit of an ouch there.
Yeah.
That's what the Dolphins need, though. They keep signing. I mean, they got a really good left tackle in Armstead, which they needed. They signed a nice little value pieces, but go get a star.
How long has it been since the Dolphins have been relevant consistently? I know they had a couple playoff seasons here and there, but
I mean, what are they going to get relevant at the worst time, though? Because even if they get Tyreek Hill, I'm not going to be saying, they're going to make the playoffs. They're still probably like the 9th or 10th team best in the AFC.
Nah, not with that lineup.
Because it comes back to Tua.
Up a lot.
He's marginal. First-year head coach.
Yeah.
Who looks very interesting.
He's a minority.
Not even. Have you seen him speak?
Yeah.
Awkward. Very. Yeah. I don't know how you lead a group of men, but
yeah, it's a little different.
It's a
little different than but it's more. I'll say it's more Sean McVay than it is Bill Belichick.
But Sean McVay's got some juice to him, though. Mike McDaniel looks like.
Has Mike McDaniel been around Sean McVay? Evidently, that's all you need to do.
McDaniel
be within his orbit, and you're, a new head coach.
He is the
definition.
When they say these football nerds who are taking over, Mike McDaniel's face should be plastered.
100%. 100%. By the way, your co-host has been mentioned as a possibility to replace Gene Deckerhoff for the Florida State play-by-play job.
Can't be you.
Yeah,
who's my other co-host.
It's me. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Yeah, absolutely. Tom Block was one of my, I guess I would call proteges. I brought him on at Channel 27 in Tallahassee many years ago, and he's been there doing sidelines and filling in for Gene. So he's obviously the odds-on favorite. But yeah, I mean, I'll throw my hat in the ring. Why not? You never know. Never know what can happen.
We're still going to get another year of Gene with the Bucks, right? I think he said that.
Yep. But what a career that man has had. Unbelievable. We're going to get him on the show here soon, and I had the joy of joining him on Tobacco Road in our first season in the ACC for Florida State and sharing a room with him. I think I have lung cancer from that whole thing, but back when we were able to smoke in the hotel rooms and everything. Yeah. We'll share some of those stories. All right. Our thanks to Rich Hollenberg, who joined us today. A really fun segment on the Rays. Also Rick Hatcher of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Bourbon, Brews, and Cigars Friday night. Go to the Hall of Fame website and get a ticket to that. That's going to be fun in Ybor City at the Baseball Museum. Have a great day, everybody. We'll chat with you tomorrow.